Hello and welcome to Drive-In Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan,
I'm Ryan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this week's episode, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. Over at patreon.com/Drive-In Double Feature Podcast, we have a bunch of bonus content over there. We talk about movies, we talk about movies, and we talk about movies over there. So be sure to head on over there and check out our movie talk for $5 a month, and you help support the main show, but no main show content is locked behind
Nathan,
there.
Nathan, you
What?
forgot one subject that we do talk about.
What's that?
Movies.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. And we talk about movies. So be sure that is worth, yeah, I know that is worth $5 a month. But yeah, check us out over there. But getting into this Tuesday's episode, we are talking about 1974's Phantom of the Paradise, directed by Brian De Palma. Yay, fan of we love Brian here, as long as the movie doesn't have high in the title. Um, yeah, so
What are the other high movies he did?
just one. There's just one. No, but Brian De Palma, this is still Brian De Palma and kind of his like pre-slasher movie era, like I guess Hitchcockian movie, I should say, era. He's still weird. He's doing some silly things. There's actually a lot more there's a lot of similarities with this one and Hi Mom, which I think is kind of fun. You can kind of see it there. I had heard about this movie for a very long time. I knew Paul Williams is in it, and I knew it was a musical, but I didn't know much else besides like seeing posters and pictures. But I've always been intrigued. I don't know. Have you heard of this one before?
I had never heard of this one before.
Okay. Well, cool. Then that's a fun surprise to get into. Uh, so I guess getting into it, Phantom of the Paradise, it's a musical and it's a play on, what's it a play on?
Oh, Stranger Than Paradise, the Jim Jarmusch movie.
oh, I thought you meant strange. No, no, you're close. Stranger Than Fiction, the Will Ferrell movie. Uh,
Um,
yes, yeah. No, no, this is
oh,
a
Phantom of the Mall. That's
yeah.
that I okay.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Remember Phantom of the Mall with really long, drawn out sex scenes for no reason?
Yeah.
What a classic. No, that I think it's funny that this is the second Phantom of the Opera type movie we've covered. This one is a little more, I think, strictly like it. It's still zany, it's still wild, but it still has the characteristics of it. The movie stars William Finley and Pop Quiz Ryan. What other movie have we talked about that William Finley is in?
Dress to Kill.
Yes, Dress to Kill. How about this one? What non-Brian De Palma movie have we talked about with him in it?
Oh, well, that's a tough one.
Because he was also in The Fury.
Okay. Um, he
It's
was obviously in
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
he was obviously in Striptease.
No, not Striptease. Maybe I'll narrow it. Toby Hooper.
Oh, Life Force.
Not Life Force. Eaten Alive, the Gator
Oh,
movie. He's the
oh,
nerdy
that's right.
dad. Yeah, yeah. I think that's it.
That's right.
I wouldn't have gotten that either. I just was looking at it before the movie. Kind of like this weird nerdy guy shows up to Swan, and Swan's like this huge music producer played by Paul Williams, which is just a character in himself. Little short, weird looking dude, but he sings some great songs. He has some great music, which he's been in another movie that we've talked about, Smokey and the Bandit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's a huge music producer in this world, and he hears William Finley, or his name in the movie, Winslow Leach's music, and he decides he's going to take it for himself, and he's going to open Paradise, which Paradise is like his music club, almost like his magnum opus. I knew we were getting off to a fun start when this movie started, and we have a band called oh God, why I was
The
just thinking
Juicy
about yeah,
Fruits.
I was thinking the Jolly Ranchers for some reason. The Juicy Fruits, which is like a 50s nostalgia band, and we get a whole song in the beginning. talking about a guy that they look up to who killed himself, and they're mimicking like taking knives and like cutting open their own stomachs as they sing this song.
Yeah, it's like they're talking about like all these brutal subjects, and it's just like let's just put it like in a pop group. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really funny. I ended up liking the music in this movie a lot more than I expected. It's really good.
I did too. I like the music in this one a lot. I thought it was really good. Like even like the ones where it's like supposed to be bad or whatever.
Yeah, it still had like a catchy feeling to it. And I think that's because Paul Williams is behind it, who is a songwriter. I think that's his like number one calling. He makes music. You sent me a clip of his from the Dexter's Laboratory scene,
Hmm.
which is a classic. So that happens and Paul Williams takes it, and I didn't know quite where the movie was going because it's basically a downfall movie for the beginning because Winslow here finds out that he's stolen his music, and at first it's not really like a he goes straight to anger. It's more like he's like, huh, he's using my song and he hasn't contacted me yet.
Well, we kind of get hints of it because when they have that initial meeting at first,
Hmm.
um, they're just like because he made like a suggestion like, oh, like maybe we could pass this on to the juicy fruits or whatever, and he like immediately snaps and
Yes,
he's just
yeah.
like, no, 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 like nobody else gonna sing my song but me. This is my like he just like he shoves him into the wall and like he's
Hmm.
just like relax. It's like fine, you could sing it.
It was just an idea.
Yeah.
We get hints that he's going to take the music because he writes a whole cantata, which is what he calls it. And they're like, "Oh, we just need a couple songs. No one listens to the lyrics. We just need your songs." He needs him. And then basically he gets kicked out, and he starts to build up this musical, which is based off of Faust, which is a movie we haven't covered yet. Maybe one day, because it's a movie, right? It's not like based off a book. I wouldn't know. I don't read garbage.
I don't read.
Yeah, no reading here. But
I don't even read the back of the DVD box.
yeah, that's yeah, me either. I don't even read the synopsis when I pick these
Well, I know.
movies.
Yeah, that's true.
I just see the poster and go, okay, that's it.
You're
But
just you're
what
just like
what
uh, you're like, yeah, that looks okay. I like the
yeah.
poster.
Luckily, with this one, I think we at least picked something that was right for this.
I
Um,
don't know. We'll see.
okay, yeah, we'll see.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, there is, which is funny. There's a scene where he does go to the mansion, and you kind of see the sleazier side of the music industry. Pretty much all these women that come in to sing, they just show up to get slept with. They're there to have sex with the
mhm.
people. And one of them is played by Jessica Harper, who was in a movie we covered really recently, Pennies from Heaven, Steve Martin's
Mhm.
wife, which is so weird. The girl from Suspiria. But
Oh, that's right.
yeah, um, I don't know. I think everyone in here gives a fun performance. I don't think she gets a chance to be really that fun. She's just the
No,
love interest, kind of.
I mean, yeah, I mean, she's okay. I wouldn't say she's
Yeah.
bad or anything. She just, uh, I do like though, she kind of like she starts out as very, like, no, I'm not gonna sleep with him, like to get to the top, because like that's like the thing. Like she's trying to get like a role to be the singer, and she's pretty much just like, no, I'm not sleeping with him. Like I just want to sing.
Hmm.
And and then later, like in the movie, she like just becomes like totally desperate. She's like, I'll just do anything. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Like I just
Yeah, because she gets a small taste of what's possible, right? Because
yeah.
she's able to sing because Winslow, or the Phantom as he becomes obsessed with her, and her name is Phoenix. And it's like I only Phoenix can sing this, and she becomes a backup singer. And I think her becoming a backup singer gives her that taste of like I'll do anything to get in the spotlight.
Yeah. And she kind of loses her morals a little bit, and it's just,
Hmm.
or maybe not that, but like her dignity, I guess, is like what the
Hmm.
word, but where she pretty much just like she just cared more about the music. Now she's just like, I just want fame.
Exactly, yeah. And this might sound serious. This movie's not. It is super zany, super weird, especially in its camera work. it's
Hmm.
so all over the place. There's so many shots of just the camera shaking and moving, and there's a really great running sequence at the end where the camera's following behind them. There's hints of De Palma like later on in his career because there's a scene very early with a split screen. Because I mean, this is a little later, but once Winslow becomes the Phantom of the Paradise, the place where they're making the songs, he places a bomb in one of the fake cars, and you see the song performance on one side of the screen, and then you see the car pull up on the other side of the screen. I wouldn't say it's very tense, but it's very cool. I like how it's done because you kind of
Hmm.
get shots of the Phantom looking down and then back to the car, back to the singer. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't prime De Palma, I would
No,
say,
no.
but you start seeing some glimpses of what he can do later on.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like this is like the point where he decided to get more focused in on like on form over like being goofy. You know what I mean? Like this is so weird watching this, comparing it to later De Palma, where this is like a silly comedy musical. It's almost like I got this out of my system and I'm gonna go make Sisters now.
Yeah. Well, he does that, and it's like even like it's only been what, like 3, 4 years since Hi Mom.
Yeah.
So, and even that, it's just like you could just see like how much better he is just in that time frame.
Yeah, I mean, practice just makes perfect, I guess. And I mean, yeah, and I personally, I really enjoyed this movie. Also, there's the narrator at the beginning, and I was like, oh, that's a good Rod Serling impression. Oh no, it
Mhm.
it, it is Rod Serling.
I I thought it was. I was like, I didn't look it up to be sure, but I was just like, I am almost positive that was Rod Serling.
Yeah, it was actually him. I was like, man, okay, this is good because it sets up the movie with the record and everything. But I love how like Winslow, his downfall is so quick because
Hmm.
he gets kicked out, beat up out of the mansion, and then the cops plant heroin on him. So he ends up going to prison and he goes to see Sing Sing. And I thought it was funny seeing Sing Sing on the screen
Like,
because
yeah.
because that new movie is out and I haven't been able to see it. So I was like, I texted my fiance. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're watching Sing Sing at home." I thought that was pretty good.
We don't. And it's like, I want to see Sing Sing. We have Sing Sing at home.
And then you watch Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah.
But part of the deal of Sing Sing is they take out all your teeth and they sell it. So he has all of his teeth removed. So he has these silver teeth, and then he gets out of prison through Sing Sing's toy production factory. Whatever, it's goofy.
He just jumps down like a conveyor belt that's leading out to a truck, and then he's just like, ah, I'm free.
Yeah, and then he goes to the mansion and he destroys the records he can find of his work, and his face gets stuck in a record press, so he destroys his face and he also loses his voice, and then he disappears. He falls into the water, but according to everybody, they think he's dead. But then that leads us into the rest of the movie, which is him being the Phantom haunting this place. And we kind of learn that it's a movie about deals with the devil and how the music industry, you have to sell your soul. It's one of those classic stories. It's almost very much like American Pop. Not as good, but it gives me maybe not, American Pop is not a silly movie. The movie takes itself very seriously.
Yeah, that one was a lot different, but this one, you think like, because I mean, yeah, it does start out as zany, but it's still like set in some sort of reality.
That's true. That's true. It's,
And
other than deals with the devil and stuff, it does like feel like it makes
well,
sense.
I was gonna say, but then as it goes on, it gets progressively more crazy.
Yeah.
And because like it does start out with like he becomes the Phantom, and uh Paul Williams immediately just like was like, you're you're what's his name again? It was Leach Winslow. You're definitely Winslow. And
Oh,
like he just
yeah.
immediately just like it's like, oh well, you could kill me right now, or you could sign this contract and I can have that song live on forever.
Yep, and he has to sign it with his blood. So he like stabs him, and they do it in blood. I love how Swan has a stamp for his signature, so he bleeds and he puts it on his stamp, and then like that, like a blood stamp. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny little touch. Um, so yeah, he signs his soul away, so and he's like, okay, and you can make music. It still screws him over. I thought it was going to be a partnership. I should have known that, that Paul Williams is still going to be like, you're going to stay in here all night. You're going to write
You
these
thought he was gonna
songs.
you thought he was gonna be truthful?
I thought they were going to be a partner. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. I was like, he was going to use him, but no, he uses him to make the song and then walls him off in his room so he can't get out.
Well, yeah, he's like, you're gonna be in here night and day writing songs. Like that's the only thing you're gonna do is just working on the song, and you have to get it ready. You have to rewrite the entire song for Phoenix.
Hmm.
And he's just like, nobody else, because he's got like a voice, but it's like a robot voice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
some kind of device. It's like Darth Vader,
yeah.
whoever that
It's like
is.
nobody else, only Phoenix. And
Hmm.
and but yeah, immediately right away he's like, oh, I'm stuck in here. But he does get out like pretty quickly.
Yeah, they brick wall him off. He freaks out. He's out like pretty much the next scene still. He still can get
Hmm.
around. Um, but yeah, so trying to think about where we could go next here. Well,
Well, when
let
he
me.
run, mhm.
Or I was gonna say, let me say this because we haven't talked about it yet. How did you feel about the Phantom's suit in this movie? His outfit.
Oh, at first, like I saw like on Letterbox, there is a picture of
Hmm.
him in that costume. So at first I was kind of like, okay, that looks kind of dumb. But um, but when you fully see it of him in costume and like why he looks like that, it makes more sense at least.
Yeah, because he's picked up stuff
And
from the stage. It's
yeah,
like a
it,
almost like a garb and in
he
a
didn't
spiky
he didn't
helmet.
intention he didn't intentionally dress like that.
No, he
So
didn't think he was cool or anything. Um,
no, but no, it looks great. I really like the way like the his eyes poking out of one hole,
mhm.
and then he's and his like metal teeth are like make it look really good. So yeah, I do like the costume for this one.
I do too. I think it's a little silly, but I enjoy it, and I like his metal teeth.
Yeah, I
No,
think it's supposed to be kind of silly.
yeah, of course, yeah, and there's something that to love about that. And then it gets even sillier because Paul Williams decides, no, Phoenix isn't going to be the singer. I know the next new wave of things, and it's also to piss off the Phantom. That's the new
Hmm.
singer beef with his band,
Beef, yeah.
which is kind of like what are they parodying here? Like a Led Zeppelin, the Who type band, some a little bit harder than what they had at the beginning.
That's like glam rock before glam rock was a thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. With a and of course this movie plays it this way, but a very overtly gay lead singer, and he
Hmm.
wears outfits and all that. Even though
Maybe he's supposed to be like Queen or something.
maybe because they were a thing then. So I don't know. I could see that. But basically he performs all these songs poorly according to the movie. I still think they're fun. But he's up there just like butchering all of this, and of course the Phantom is not taking any of this.
That guy who played Beef, he's been in a lot of movies. That's
Really? I didn't look him up.
Garrett Graham. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure we've done like a couple of his movies.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, he was in that one. But I know he's been in other ones that we've done.
He was in Chopping Mall.
Yeah, that's true. He was.
Wow. He's also in Little Mermaid. Uncredited. Wow. No, that's cool. I always like seeing that. And also, it looks like he was in a lot of TV. Dr. Norman Pankow and Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Well,
Wow.
he got
Yeah.
canceled, so I guess Parker Lewis can lose.
That's true. Again, that's the joke you have to make every time you go back to that show, huh?
Uh, right. Okay. He was also in the ratings game. That's where I thought it was like we did one
Oh, wow.
recently with him. Yeah.
Wow, we're making some weird connections with this movie.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think his performance is really fun. Um,
He's very effeminate in this one, and just
mhm,
like, like, and they're like he's like an addict too, because they're just
mhm.
like, like just take these drugs and shut up type of thing.
Yeah, and like shove it down his mouth.
Yeah.
Because he gets scared by the Phantom, which of course this happens in the shower. De Palma has to have a shower scene that's already showing, except
And
the
it's like
dude.
Hitchcock. I love Hitchcock.
Yeah, so let me just do the psycho scene. Yes, it's already he's already ripping off the master.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, then he get basically almost runs away, but then he gets fed drugs, so he goes out and sings. And then one of my favorite scenes is the Phantom with like the electric light and throws it down, and he like electrocutes him, and then it like is edited in a way where it's like super choppy for a moment, and he's doing
Yeah.
like just like these silly faces. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, I mean, and then it kind of ends with like a big reveal that Paul Williams he sold his soul to the devil so he could look young forever, and he kind of signs these contracts. He gets Phoenix to sign a contract so he can stay young, and he plans on getting married on air. It gets really convoluted now the more that I'm like getting through it, because he also plans on killing her on air in front of everybody.
Yeah, that's the only part. I mean, I want to make it really clear. I really like this movie,
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
but I do think the weakest part is the ending.
Yeah, I think I could
Um,
agree with that.
so it's very, there's a lot going on, almost too much going on, I feel like. And
Hmm.
um, that's the only drawback I would have. But I do like that the levels that sometimes it does go to where it's just
Hmm.
like, they have a really ridiculous scene where Winslow like wants to kill himself, and they're just
Hmm.
like, No, you're under contract. That's not allowed." And it's
Yeah,
just,
he can't actually kill himself.
yeah. And but then uh Winslow like stabs Paul Williams, and like he doesn't die. He's just like, "I'm under contract too. I can't die."
Yeah, you're not the only one under contract here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that was like a funny moment where it's just like, okay, now this movie's like a supernatural movie.
yeah, yeah. And it becomes that way because in the end, Paul Williams doesn't get his way. So you see a reveal of his face and it's just melting, like peeling off.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I love that this movie plays this man like he's like the most handsome man in the world. Like this guy is the guy, like the
Yeah.
guy
Well,
you could
which I
die
mean,
for this guy.
yeah, which I mean, I don't want to say anything mean, but he's definitely not like,
I mean,
or he's not ordinary looking.
he's yeah, no, exactly. He's an interesting looking guy, and I think he knows that, and I think that's what's fun about the performance.
Because like he's just got like this long blonde hair with these giant glasses on, and he's really short.
Very
And
short.
so uh I because and Smokey and the Bandit, he plays Little Enos, like the really short
Yeah.
guy. So that's kind of like the funny bit where it's just like he's just always been like that height,
Hmm.
and he
Yeah.
just always plays like little guy. But now it's just like he's like this real sinister character.
Yeah, I think he does a great job here playing like the bad guy in this movie. I think it's
I
just
do too.
yeah. I think overall it's just a really entertaining
Mm.
musical.
Oh, oh, I
Oh, go
should
on.
say Oscar winner Paul Williams.
What did he win for?
He won for best original song.
What song?
Evergreen from the '70s Star is Born movie.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't know that. So that's
He
cool.
also he also got nominated for the Muppet movie, like I think Rainbow Connection. So
I think I did know that one. So that's cool. Well, another Oscar contender on here. Well, Oscar winner.
winner. Yeah,
Yeah.
right up there with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, let's hope she. Well, wait, the nominations for today. She didn't get her second nomination. Damn it.
That just they'll never recognize how great she is.
No, even though they gave her an Oscar.
She deserves more, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But no, I think Phantom of the Paradise is a really fun musical. I had a good time with it. I say musical, but it's not like the Apple or anything where it has like a bunch of songs. But I think it has a good rhythm to
No,
it, and it's
no,
surprisingly funny and has good style. I don't know. I had a good time with it.
I did too. I enjoyed this one very much. Like I said, the only thing I would maybe wish for is the ending to be slightly stronger, but overall had a really good time with it. It's one I probably wouldn't have watched honestly without the podcast. So that's
Without me
another
putting
movie
a
where
gun to your head.
I know. And I'm glad you're able to finally land a good movie, Nathan. Eh,
It takes a while sometimes, but sometimes it happens.
But no, I'm kidding. This one was a really good movie. I had a great time, good songs, good performances. So I would definitely give this one a recommend.
Yep, same here. But that wraps it up for this one. Ryan, what are we covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we are digging into one of the movies that we've talked about before. We talked about Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. So we are going to talk about Return of the Killer Tomatoes. And that is streaming for free both on YouTube and Tubi.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch that one, but be sure to check out our Patreon and email us at driveadoubleFeaturePodcast@gmail.com. But until next time.
Until next time.